We don't know much at this time, but right now police are blocking off several streets here in downtown Wilkes-Barre. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see. We're along Wilkes-Barre Boulevard at Butler Street. The owners say they captured him on this surveillance camera. Now, he didn't break in through the back door, probably because it says that it's being monitored. So instead, he climbed underneath the building and climbed through that air duct. Guilty on all 12 counts. That's what the jury of 8 women and 4 men decided after more than 4 hours of deliberation inside the room at the Pike County Courthouse behind me. So you have nothing to say on the fact that you're accused of inappropriately touching 7 male students? If you travel on Route 87 in Forksville and Sullivan County, Pennsylvania, you might want to take a detour, find another way to get where you need to be because there's trees and wires down. Of course, we don't know if if wires down, assume that they're live. We know that 24-year-old Randy Stair arrived to this Weiss supermarket just outside of Tunkhannock shortly before 11 o'clock yesterday evening with no intention of returning home. Well, when they purchased this house last year, they were sure that they would be living in it by now, but more than 6 months later, and well, as you can see, it remains dark, all because of a contractor they say took their money, but didn't complete the job. Officers say that they need to reevaluate their strategy after running into structural issues inside of the walls. The Eagles are making their way up Broad Street very slowly. They will go around City Hall here behind me, eventually ending at the Art Museum. So let's go ahead and try to kick down this door. Just like that. This thing closed at 10 o'clock, so I now have to find my way out of here before I become a permanent resident. Live tonight in Tannersville, Brian Sheehan, Fox 56. So I actually just bought tickets of my own. Actually, guys, I bought 3. See, 3 tickets. 1 for myself, 1 for each of you. Green appearing to be emotionless through much of the morning and afternoon, even yawning at one point as the judge read aloud the charges that he is facing. Each of those people that I spoke to today told me that they believe that witnessing the inauguration will give them hope. They tell me they will pack up and go home once all of this is cleared. And then Jamie and Ryan, that's when the real cleanup for many of the people here begins. That call came in shortly before 10:30 this morning, and when police arrived, they quickly realized that suspect was conscious and armed with a gun. Now, if exercise isn't your thing, there's plenty of places to get frozen custard in our area this weekend, like Josie's here in Kingston. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Not only did they fill that trailer, they filled an entire second trailer full of items that is going to go to the victims of Hurricane Harvey. It all began when the Marinick family woke up to a freezing cold house. They thought that their heater malfunctioned, but that wasn't the only issue. Today they learned that their home was slowly poisoning them.
17.
17 minutes of silence at Scranton High School. Each minute to represent a life lost in the Parkland shooting.
That could happen to anybody. There are kids my age that went through that and they weren't expecting it at all. And it could happen to any of us here or anywhere.
Many can't vote yet or make their own legal decisions. But today they and scores of others across the country took part in an unprecedented nationwide movement.
We're here to show the students that they're not alone and that we're here to support and that we believe in what they believe in and that we're a big community in general.
They want to see stricter gun laws.
Obviously, there's a problem going on recently, and something has to be done about it.
And restrictions for those who shouldn't have access to firearms.
There needs to be mental checks. There needs to be a list of people who aren't allowed to have a gun.
They differ on their opinions, but they all strive for the same goal.
Have safer schools. Definitely have to be safe in school and all in general in the world.
And largely they are. Since 1990, there have been 7 school shooting incidents resulting in 14 injuries and 9 deaths in Pennsylvania. Compare that to California, where there have been 19 incidents, 47 injuries, and 16 deaths. These students are hopeful change will come soon. After all, this day was inspired by their peers, the survivors of Stoneman Douglas, who turned into activists the day after the shooting.
Us doing what we're doing, we're helping them as well, speaking out and showing the politicians and the government that this is what we want, this is what we need.
17 minutes of silence, hoping for a lifetime of change.
Makes me think that our generation is strong and that we can do what we want to do.
and that if we try hard enough, we can make change.
Many students here at Scranton High School also plan to travel to Washington, D.C. for the March for Our Lives rally on March 24th. In Scranton, Brian Sheehan, Fox 56 News, first at 10. Today, millions of people packed Center City, Philadelphia for the Eagles Victory Parade, including many from our area. And everyone we spoke to say this first World Championship is long overdue. Before the sun rose, hundreds packed buses in Wilkes-Barre to make the trip to Philadelphia. The reason? On Sunday, quarterback Nick Foles led the team to their first Super Bowl victory. Joe Pardini of Pringle has been waiting for this moment his entire life. But it's a moment many others thought would never happen.
It's like the movie Rocky. We're the underdog who don't, they don't believe in us. They say, well, Philadelphia is a bad place to go to. No.
Once they arrived, they joined millions of other fans who made the trip from all over the area, some from across the country.
I'm president of Eagles Headquarters South.
I live in Casper, Wyoming. I'm from Patterson, Louisiana.
It's a celebration many say they've been planning their entire lives.
A long time, little girl on my dad's knee.
But some fans, luckily, didn't have to wait that long.
I'm ready to see the Eagles, and I'm ready for the parade.
Jeff Kavanaugh is from Jessup.
There's people waiting down here for 60 years for this to happen, so you never know when it's going to happen again, so you got to be a part of it.
It's been a long time, but everybody's pumped up and ready to celebrate.
All for a mere glimpse of those buses carrying the underdogs. Nearly everyone counted out. An underdog no more, but a title fans cherish.
Underdogs can win! Yes!
For many people we spoke to, being a Philadelphia fan is a lot more than just about the sport. It's a culture, a lifestyle, and a celebration of what brings us all together. And that's exactly what today's celebration honoring the Philadelphia Eagles, the world champions of football, was all about. Reporting in Philadelphia, Brian Sheehan, Fox 56 News, first at 10. Since around 6 o'clock this evening, crews have been out here with heavy machinery working to free that ice jam here in this creek and also to prevent the flooding from getting any worse. Residents and business owners say they haven't seen an ice jam cause this much damage in recent memory. Backyards covered, basements flooded, all because of a large ice jam here at Martin's Creek in Nicholson.
Oh my God. Yeah, I've never seen anything like that.
This building along the creek's edge is a storage unit. Owner Randy Norrath keeps his tools for his construction business in the basement.
As of noon, I had a friend of mine come through here and he said it was just fine. And then I got a phone call probably 45 minutes later saying that there was water all around my building.
He says the basement is typically filled with a lot of wood, and now it's also filled to the ceiling with water.
I guess I'm a little exhausted already just thinking about how much work I got ahead of me just trying to get things dried out. But, it's not my house. There's neighbors around here that I feel for even more. This is their home. At one of those neighbors' homes, emergency management officials brought in a generator to pump several feet of murky brown water out of the basement. It was the same scene at this insurance company where crews used long hoses to pump the water out.
Just our basement's flooded at the moment. Hopefully that's it.
Many who live and work here say the ice jam came out of nowhere.
I had a lady come in and say, "When did that happen?" I said, "What are you talking about?" So she had me look out the window and it's all backed up.
Officials say once crews break up this ice jam, it'll flow into Tunkhannock Creek, so residents need to be vigilant.
We don't know if these ice jams are going to stay in place. We don't know when they're going to break. If you're living along a creek or a stream, you need eyes on them. Back here live, emergency crews continue to use excavators to break up this ice jam that flows into the Tunkhannock Creek and eventually the Susquehanna River. They tell me they will pack up and go home once all of this is cleared. And then Jamie and Ryan, that's when the real cleanup for many of the people here begins. Reporting live tonight in Nicholson, Wyoming County, I'm Brian Sheehan, Fox 56 News, first at 10.